Welcome to this third part of this short mini-series when I'm combining flowers with crafting activities. This project involves a children's chalkboard. Normally I would have flashed up the before here, but I can't find any more chalkboards to show you, so I'm going to dive in with a finished product and then I'll show you what materials I used, how I made it, and then the fresh flower bit right at the end. And this is what I've made. I've added a little shelf, just the right size to rest a jam jar on it, and I've chalked the names of my flowers around the board. In order to get your shelf level, you'll need a ruler and a pencil. I'm going to use white acrylic paint and a cloth to sponge on a whitewash effect around the edge of my frame. You'll need a jam jar, quite a small one in order that it doesn't overhang the little ledge you're going to be making. I'm using sandpaper to create a key for my paintwork, and I'll be using string to decorate my jam jar and also to create a hanger at the back. These little eyelet hooks came with my chalkboard. I'm going to be using 1.5 inch screws to hold my little shelf in place. I've got offcut of wood that pre-cut to size. This one's painted green. I'm going to deaden that colour off using some whitewash. I've got a bradawl to make guide holes, a Phillips screwdriver for fastening my screws, a sheet of newspaper to cover up the chalkboard, and of course the chalkboard itself. My first job is to sand off the woodwork. That's so that I can create a key so that my paint has something to hold onto. So I'm working up and down with the grain, not forgetting the underside and the ends of the piece of wood as well. I'm then doing the same thing around the edges of the wooden frame of my chalkboard. I'm going around all 4 sides, not forgetting the edges too. I've folded a rectangle shaped piece of newspaper to fit right across the face of the chalkboard in order that I don't spill any paint. You see me here squirting some acrylic paint out into a dish, and then I'll be dabbing my cloth into that and using my fingers to paint onto my block of wood, adding the paint in the direction of the grain. I'm then taking a clean section of the cloth and rubbing off the excess paint, and this gives me a bleached whitewash, almost a limed effect. I'm going to do this on all sides of my block of wood, from the side edges and the undersides too. I'm working with the grain here, and you will find it slightly harder to add the paint to the cut edge because you'll be working against the grain, but you can just dab the paint on those sides and then rub it off. If you think you've rubbed off too much paint, you can always add another layer. Here I am doing exactly the same thing with the frame around my chalkboard. So dipping my finger in the paint and using the cloth to apply it, and then rubbing off the excess as I go. So I'm moving around each of the 4 sides in turn, adding the paint and touching it up as I go. I'm actually wearing an apron which you can't see, just to protect my clothing, so this can be a messy job and your fingers will be quite dirty by the end of it, but just go slowly and carefully, and as I say, keep that wodge of paper or newspaper inside your frame so you're not accidentally spilling paint onto the black surface of your chalkboard. I've speeded up this next section of film, but you can see me doing exactly the same thing around the edge of the frame. You'll need to let your paint dry before you start measuring up and fixing the little shelf. So you can see me here trying to decide whereabouts to add the shelf onto my chalkboard and I'm measuring up to make sure it'll sit centrally but also parallel as well. You don't want your shelf on a slant, otherwise your jam jar will fall off. I'm using a workmate bench and an electric drill to make the guide holes for my screws. I then turn my chalkboard over with my block of wood, my shelf underneath, and I am going to use the bradawl to make some guide holes in order that I can then drill holes into the shelf section for my screws to fit into. It's then a matter of matching up your screws with the holes you've made inside the shelf. So here I am, just part fitting, screwing the screws into place. You'll see them poking out on the front side of the chalkboard, and then I'm lining those up with the guide holes in the shelf, twisting and fixing by hand in order that I know they're in just the right place. And then I'll use my screwdriver, working evenly between the two holes, screwing part way down in one and then part way down in the other. And actually off camera I screwed these in with an electric screwdriver, and now you see me just doing the finishing by hand. And there is the finished shelf with my jam jar in place. My next job is to measure down from the top side of the frame on the back, so I can put in my eyelet hooks, and they'll be evenly spaced in order that the picture frame hangs up without being crooked. I make a guide hole with my bradawl and then twist the eyelets in by hand. You need to twist firmly and twist down as well, so I would do this against a flat surface. If you have difficulties twisting by hand, you might want to use a pair of pliers to grip onto the hooks and use that to do your twisting. It might help you a little bit. I then use some garden twine to thread through each of the hooks and then cut off to length and tie a double knot to hold in place. At this point you really do need an extra pair of hands, so if you've got a friend to hold the knot down, it really will be helpful. I then take some more garden twine, and leaving myself a tail of about 10 centimetres, I then start wrapping the string around the neck of the jar, and then when I'm happy with the collar I've created, I cut off the other side and tie a knot. And again, my jar's rolling around a little bit, so if you do have somebody who can put a finger in the right place so you can tie a firm knot, that would be helpful. And then to finish it off, I'm tying a little decorative bow and evening out the loops of the bow and giving it a really tight tug. And there's a little finishing detail, tying a knot at the end of each piece of string and trimming off the excess. You could use ribbon to decorate your jam jar or anything else that you've got to hand. So this is the DIY completed. You can see my shelf has been fixed centrally and is level, and as I twist it round you can see the string fixing the hanging at the back. So I'm going to clear everything away and start collecting some garden flowers. And you see me here walking around the garden deciding which stems to pick. I've got a sharp pair of scissors with me, and I'm probably only going to pick half a dozen stems as my jam jar isn't particularly big. I then put the flowers in water, let them rest, and then I'll come back and show you what I do. Having picked your flowers, now the fun starts. I didn't go for too many stems. I picked probably about 8 or 10 stems here. Remember, I'm only going to be using a jam jar for this arrangement, which is tiny. I'm going to do a cross between a hand tie posy and just a plonk it together in my hand kind of arrangement. And again, that's because I don't have many stems, so it's not ever going to look really, really full. But what I will do is take off the side shoots and the leaves, just so I've got all my flowers and green at the top, and the stems going into my jam jar are clean. That means they don't have any leaves on them. This is the last of our peonies. I'm not sure it's going to open up, but it's nice to get a bud into your jam jar. take all those leaves off. I'm not sure what this one is. It's a nitrogen fixing plant from the wild bit of our garden. This one looks like a buttercup, but it's actually out of our pond. Got 2 stems of calendula, or the pot marigold. So pinch off all the side leaves. And this one is the ice plant, or sedum. So I need to get rid of all these chunky leaves right up to the top. I'm going to do that with a pair of scissors. Left it looking really skinny. My allium seed head, so I don't need to do anything with that because it has just got a long, straight, clean stem. I might want to dust off some of the old blossoms just so it's the seeds that you start to see. And last, the Sweet William. So just a few of these leaves on the edges. So the water I had my flowers standing in, I can use that to top up my jam jar. I'm going to start with my rose and then add in the individual flowers. You could twist them as you go, but really you're trying to distribute them so you've got a nice rounded head of flowers that looks good from all directions. So those stems, although I cut them short in the garden, they're way too long in relation to my jam jar. So I need to measure up and cut them shorter. I'm going to cut them about here as a first cut, and I can trim them down later. If you want your flowers to stay together in this little posy, the easiest way to do that is with an elastic band. You slide it on one of the chunkier stems. Like that. Then wrap the whole elastic band around the stem, stretch out the last bit and poke another stem through the loop. That will hold everything in place. If you decide once you get your flowers into your jar that everything just looks a bit stiff and static, you can always go back in and cut that down, but it does make it easier when you're working. So final proper measure up, jam jar, flowers. I want the flowers to be resting on the top and the elastic band tie to be inside the jar. So here I need to come and cut off another couple of centimetres. And there's the finished jar and its little edge. Because this is a chalkboard, you could actually write on your board perhaps the names of the flowers that you've used. I've got a piece of chalk here, so let's give it a go. Sweet William, Rose, Sedum, Daisy and Peony. I do hope you enjoyed the last in this 3-part mini-series of combining crafting with your flowers. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, ask them in my free Facebook group, Flower Start World. I'd love to see your before and after photos. And if you're on Instagram, tag me. I'm at Flower Start with an underscore at the end, and use the hashtag Flower Start. That's all from me for now. I'll see you another time.